It is Tuesday afternoon, and you are standing in the produce aisle of the grocery store with a pineapple in your hands. You turn it over, you sniff it. You give the leaves a little tug, like somebody told you to do years ago. Then you pay your $4, you carry it home, and you set it on the kitchen counter for 3 days to ripen up. And when you finally cut into it, the flesh is pale and it is sour, and half of it goes into the trash can. You have done this more than once. I know, because nearly everybody has. But here is what nobody in that store will ever tell you. A pineapple is not like a banana, and it is not like a peach. Every day that fruit sits on your counter, it is not getting sweeter. It is only getting older. So stay with me to the end, because a pineapple stops making sugar the very moment it is cut from the plant in the field. And there is one thing you can do tonight on your own kitchen counter that moves the sweetness it already has to where your knife will find it. It costs nothing, and it takes 10 seconds. I'm Elias Miller. I'm 58 years old. I'm Old Order Amish, and I was born and raised in Holmes County, Ohio, the largest Amish settlement in the world. Emma and I raised 7 children and 19 grandchildren without ever carrying debt, and a family that size does not have $4 to throw away on sour fruit. My mom, my mother, canned pineapple every winter for a Christmas table of 60 people, and she could pick a sweet one with her eyes closed. Now, a pineapple is a peculiar fruit for a plain family in Ohio. I will grant you that. We do not grow them in Holmes County. But Emma buys them by the case at the produce auction when the price comes down, and my grandchildren eat them like candy. So I have handled more pineapples than most fellows who live where they grow. And the trouble with a pineapple is that it is the one fruit in that whole produce section you cannot see into and cannot judge by color. Folks stand in that aisle believing a golden pineapple is ripe and a green pineapple is not, and that belief is wrong in both directions. A green pineapple can be dead ripe. A golden one can be old and fermenting under its own shell. The color mostly tells you the variety and the weather it grew in, not the sugar inside. So the store lets you guess. Nobody ever made a nickel teaching you to pick fruit right, but they make $4 fresh every time you guess wrong and come back for another one. There are 7 honest tests, and every one of them uses nothing but your 2 hands and your nose. And hold on to what I said about the counter, because that part is still coming, and I promise it is not what you think. Now, before we get to the first test, I want you to know where all of this comes from. Everything I teach on this channel comes out of one place, a manual Emma and I put together called Save $7,000 a Year, the Amish Country Manual. It is the plain country book of the methods our families have run for generations: the heat, the water, the pantry, the garden, the animals, the household, and the quiet thrift underneath it all, written down step by step with the materials and the dollar amounts. It is for regular families, not Amish ones. You do not have to become Amish. You just have to keep your money like one. A store charges you again every single month for the things in that book. The book costs $17 one time, marked down from $47. Emma's half covers the kitchen and the pantry, and picking good food and wasting none of it is her department, so this very lesson has its own page in the manual. $17 against bills that come back every month is the easiest arithmetic I know. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time, there is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. All right, test number 1, and it is the one my ma'am trusted over all 6 others put together. Number 1, smell the bottom, not the top, not the side, the bottom. Pick the pineapple up off the produce shelf and turn it clean over. Put your nose right against the flat base where the stem was cut. Take one good slow breath. A ripe pineapple smells sweet down there, heavy and warm, like pineapple juice in a can. If you smell that, you are holding a good one. If you smell nothing at all, the fruit was cut too green, and no amount of waiting on your counter will fix that. Set it down and pick up its neighbor. And here is the why, because the old ways always have one. A pineapple ripens from the bottom up. The sugar builds at the base first and climbs toward the crown last. So the bottom is the first place sweetness shows up, and the bottom is where your nose goes. But there is a third smell, and this one matters more than the other two. If that base smells sharp, like vinegar, or a little like cider that turned, that fruit is not ripening anymore. It is fermenting. The sugar inside has started turning to alcohol, and the flesh under that shell is going soft and sour at the same time. That is the fruit on my thumbnail, friends. That one you do not buy at any price, not even marked down. My daddy, my grandfather, used to say a bargain that goes in the trash is the most expensive thing in the store. Number 2, the weight test. This one takes 2 hands and 10 seconds. Pick up 2 pineapples of about the same size, 1 in each hand, right there in the aisle. Hold them like a pair of feed buckets. One of them will feel heavier. Buy the heavy one. That weight is juice, and juice is where the sugar lives. A light pineapple is a dry pineapple, and a dry pineapple was picked early or has been sitting on a truck too long. There is no trick to this test. Heavy for its size wins every time, with pineapples and with melons, and with citrus too. Emma does this at the produce auction with a whole case, and the auctioneer has learned not to rush her. Number 3, the gentle squeeze. Wrap your hand around the belly of the fruit, the widest part. Press with your fingers, easy, the way you would press a tomato you did not want to bruise. You are feeling for a little give, just a little. The shell should feel firm, but not hard as a fence post. If it is hard all over like a green gourd, it was cut too early. And remember, it will never catch up on your counter. And if your fingers sink in, or you find a soft spot that stays dented, the fruit is past its day and breaking down inside. A little give. That is the whole test. A little give and no more. Now that handles the inside of the fruit, but the outside of a pineapple will talk to you too if you know how to read it. Number 4, read the eyes. Those diamond shapes all over the shell are called the eyes, and each one was its own little flower once. Here is what you want. Eyes that are wide, flat, and close to the same size from the bottom of the fruit to the top. Flat, even eyes mean the plant had the time and the sun to finish its work all the way up. If the eyes are small and pointed near the crown, but big at the base, the fruit was rushed off the plant before the top half was done. And you will taste that unevenness at the table, sweet on one end and sour on the other. It is a small thing to look for, but small things are most of farming and most of shopping too. Number 5, look hard at the crown. The crown is that head of green leaves on top, and it is the freshest calendar the fruit carries. You want leaves that are deep green, tight, and standing up like they still think they are growing. A fresh crown means a fresh fruit. Now turn that around. If the leaves are brown, dried, and curling, and the center of the crown looks dead and papery, That pineapple has been off the plant a long while. That is the very fruit I am pointing at in the picture on this video. The shell can still look handsome while the crown tells you the truth. The crown always tells you the truth. Trust the leaves over the shell the same way you would trust a man's hands over his hat. Number 6, the famous leaf tug. You have heard this one because it is the only test the whole world seems to know. Take hold of one leaf from the middle of the crown, not the outside, and give it a slow, gentle pull. If it comes free with a little resistance, the fruit is ripe. If it will not budge at all, the fruit is likely green. Now I will be honest with you, the way the fellow at the store will not. This test is rough. A leaf can pull free on an overripe fruit just as easy as a ripe one, so the tug never gets to vote alone. It only gets to agree with your nose and your 2 hands. If the leaf comes out far too easy, with no resistance at all, that is not a yes. That is a fruit going soft from the inside, and you already know what to do with that one. Leave it for the fellow who did not watch this video. Number 7, check the stem scar on the base. Turn the fruit over one more time before you put it in the cart. You are looking at the round scar where the pineapple was cut from the plant. It should look dry and clean. If you see white fuzzy mold starting on that scar, put it down. If you see juice weeping out of the bottom, put it down. Because a pineapple leaking from the base is a pineapple breaking down. And run your thumb around the bottom edge while you are there, feeling for soft, dark, bruised patches. The bottom goes bad first, because the bottom ripened first. 7 tests, and not one of them cost you a dime. That is the Amish way of shopping. The tools are your nose, your hands, and your patience, and you were born owning all 3. Now let me gather that up before we go on, the way my mom would. Smell the base for sweetness and walk away from vinegar. Pick the heavy one. Feel for a little give. Look for flat, even eyes. Trust a green, lively crown. Let the leaf tug agree, not decide. And check the stem scar for mold and weeping. Do those 7 things, and you will bring home a sweet pineapple 9 times out of 10. But we are not done, because the biggest mistake with a pineapple happens after you get it home. And this is the part I promised you at the very start. First, what to do with a good one. A ripe pineapple does not keep on the counter. It keeps in the refrigerator, whole, for 4 or 5 days. Better still, do it Emma's way. Cut the whole fruit the day you buy it. Pack the chunks into a quart jar. Pour the juice from the cutting board right in over top and lid it. A quart jar of cut pineapple in the refrigerator keeps a week, and my grandchildren will empty it faster than that. Waste nothing. The core that most folks throw away can steep in a pitcher of cold water overnight, and you will have the best tasting water in the county for free. And now, the reason I told you at the start not to let that fruit sit 3 days ripening on your counter. Here is the mechanism, plain as I can make it. A banana is picked full of starch. Starch is stored up sugar waiting its turn, and as a banana sits in your fruit bowl, it turns that starch into sweetness day by day. A pear does the same. A pineapple cannot. A pineapple carries no starch reserve at all. Every bit of sugar it will ever have was made in the field, by the sun, while it hung on the plant. The moment the knife cuts it free, the sugar making is finished forever. So on your counter it does not ripen. It only softens and dulls, and slides toward that vinegar smell we talked about. When you waited 3 days, you were not ripening your pineapple, friends. You were spoiling it slowly and calling it patience. But the good Lord left us one door open, and this is the free 10-second trick. The sugar in a pineapple is not spread evenly. It settles. All through shipping and shelf time, the sugar sinks and gathers at the base, which is why the bottom slices are always sweeter than the top. So tonight, do this. Cut the crown of leaves off your pineapple. Set the fruit upside down on a plate, resting on that cut top. Leave it on the counter overnight, or one full day at most. Gravity goes to work, and the juice and the sugar that pooled in the base drift back down through the whole fruit. Come morning, the top slices taste like the bottom slices. One plate, one flip, 10 seconds of work while the coffee perks. You did not make one new drop of sugar, because no one can. You just moved the sweetness the field already paid for to where your family's forks will find it. We don't buy it twice, and we don't waste half of what we bought once. And that flip right there saves the top half of every pineapple you buy for the rest of your life, which is the kind of arithmetic Emma and I filled a whole manual with. Save $7,000 a year, the Amish Country Manual, is that same plain teaching for the whole household. The heat, the water, the pantry, the garden, keeping things running instead of replacing them, and the debt-free habits underneath it all, each one written out step by step with the materials and the dollar amounts. It is $17, marked down from $47, and it is $17 one time, against the bills that come back every single month, whether you like it or not. Fair price for honest work, and that is all I will say about it. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. So there it is. Smell the bottom, pick the heavy one, feel for a little give, read the eyes, trust the crown, let the leaf agree, check the scar, and flip it upside down overnight, because a pineapple never gets sweeter after the field, it only gets moved. Tell me in the comments, did your grandparents do it this way too? I'd surely like to hear it. I read every single one. And next time, I am going to show you how the old-timers kept fresh eggs good for 8 months and more without a refrigerator, using nothing but a 5-gallon pail and one cheap thing from the hardware store that most folks walk right past. The old ways still work, friends. Use them well, and God keep you till next time.